This is the plaintiff, Joseph Kyaski Jr. He says the defendant is his former friend of over 30 years, and he can't believe it's come to this, a lawsuit. The guy owed him, so he offered to fix the transmission on his pickup truck. Well, it's been 5 years, and he just got the truck back. Problem is, the defendant promised him it would be in mint condition because it took so long to repair. It's not in mint condition. That's why he's suing his former friend here and now for the $5,000 he feels he's owed. This is the defendant, Lyle Wahlberg. He says the plaintiff and his wife would always moan about not having money, so he had a friend of his rebuild the transmission on the plaintiff's truck because he's a nice guy. This lawsuit came out of the clear blue sky. He has no idea what the plaintiff's problem is, but he does know he doesn't owe this man any money. He's accused of fouling up a friendship.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff was friends with the defendant for 30 years. He brought his car over to the defendant to fix the transmission. The guy had it for years, never did it. But the defendant says he has no idea why he's being sued. It's the case of on a mission over the transmission.
Thank you, Douglas. Joseph Kyaski?
Yes.
You are suing Lyle Wahlberg for $5,000 that you say he owes you to fix up a 1992 Silverado that he promised he would fix up. Tell me what's going on.
Well, my truck broke down in 2009, so I had it towed up to my house, and then I called Mr. Wahlberg to let him know that my truck broke down if his friend would just like help me out, you know, with the truck.
Is that a mechanic?
Yeah, he's a mechanic.
How long have you two known each other?
30 years.
There you go. So what happens?
Mr. Wahlberg tells me to put the keys underneath the mat in my truck, leave the door unlocked, and that the gentleman will come up to tow the truck down to his place the following morning.
Did that happen?
Yes, that happened.
And then what?
And then they found out approximately a week and a half, 2 weeks after that there was something wrong, that the transmission either had to be rebuilt or they're going to put a new transmission in.
Okay, so then what happens?
The truck sat there.
Sat where? At his friend's shop?
At his friend's
For how
place
long?
of business until November of 2012.
Why would anybody
years.
allow
14,
your truck to
2014.
sit there taking up space for 3 years?
Because Mr. Wahlberg kept on saying that, oh, they can't find a transmission. Oh, it's got to be rebuilt. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have the financial.
Why does he have to pay to rebuild your transmission?
Because he said he was going to do it as a favor because he wrote out a promissory note to me.
No, why was he going to do it?
As a friend. Because of all the things.
I have lots of friends. Not one of them has ever offered to pay for a new transmission for me.
This is the way this gentleman is.
He's just that kind?
He's that kind.
And you're suing him?
Because he won't do.
He won't do that kind, ridiculous thing he offered to do for free?
That's right.
And so you're suing him?
That's right.
Why don't you just get your car and pay for your own darn transmission like the rest of us mere mortals?
I don't have the money because Mr. Wahlberg has all my wife's money and my money.
The plot thickens. Hold on.
So the defendant wasn't making any money. Can the plaintiff sue for this? Can the plaintiff sue?
I think so, because he should have gave the car back in a reasonable...
But what's he getting out of it? What's he getting out of it?
He's not getting anything.
So can the plaintiff sue him? Say no.
No.
Good. Go inside the courtroom.
What do you mean Mr. Wahlberg has all your wife's money?
My wife started investing in his company in 2000.
What kind of company?
It was a patent technology company.
Okay, what does that mean? What is your company?
Innovations of new products. It wasn't my company. I invested in the same company. I didn't own it.
Okay.
I was an investor. That's all I was.
And does he feel that his wife lost money because you gave him the tip or something? Is that the idea?
No, in truth, I told him about a business, and I saw a lot of merit in it. And I gave $10,000, and she gave, over a period of time, $50,000. There's a lot of false witnessing after investigations.
Didn't work out?
It didn't work out. Mr. Kyaski kind of put the kibosh on it by sending out letters of fraud and...
Because they're mad that they lost money.
Right. Well, they didn't lose it. I promised they'd get it back.
Why would you promise that they'd get back money they invested in a company?
Because that's who I am. Because I believe in the company, and I put $125,000 in after
So
their
now
50.
it's your company?
Right.
Okay.
I owe nothing. They gave no money to me at all. But because of my heart and the right thing to do, this is how I am. I'm a reverend of the Cross Ministry. Got to do the right thing, and that's it.
Why are you paying for his transmission? If the guy has car problems, why doesn't he take his own car to his own mechanic? Or if you're only referring him to a mechanic, why isn't he discussing price with that mechanic?
It's a good question. He just probably expected me to pay for it because of how I am, who I am. Now,
I'm sorry. How does who you are mean you will pay for his expenses?
That's a good question, Judge. I don't know. He just assumed I would. He moaned and groaned about it. I felt so sorry for him about the vehicle down there. I assumed he'd work things out.
Did he happen to work in there? Well, you know, we lost all this money on that investment, so we don't have money. Did he try to make you feel guilty about it?
Probably did, but I don't pay no attention.
Because that's the only thing I could see for being.
I don't pay any attention.
Right.
He thinks that way.
But he thinks that way.
I don't.
Well, but then why do you agree to fix his car then?
Because of my heart. I felt bad.
Will you fix my car?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Bring
Anybody
it down.
else have car trouble?
Bring it down.
Anybody need anything else? All right. So you agree that he was under the impression that you would pay to fix it, and then 5 years pass. Why? Why do 5 years pass? Like, it's not 5 months, it's not 5 weeks, it's 5 years.
Mr. Wahlberg keeps on saying he didn't have the money. There was no finances. He's too busy working on his company, getting the patent for his lock.
What'd you do for 5 years? This wasn't your main transportation?
No, there's my wife's car.
Okay.
And then plus Mr. Wahlberg gave me a 1985 Chevy Caprice to use while my truck was down there being fixed.
He just gave you a car?
Yeah, I got the title sitting right here. He didn't sign off on the title, but he gave me the title of the whole with a bill of sale.
Okay.
And plus I have a letter stating about my truck that Mr. Wahlberg was going to pay for all new painting and all new parts for my truck.
Let me see the letter. Are you talking about a promissory note that you had him sign?
I don't have that.
I didn't have him sign it.
Where the heck that come
He
from?
signed it.
Who wrote it?
Oh, Mr. Wahlberg. Not directly to me.
What?
Can we see that?
I don't know anything about this one.
As I promised, I will take care of the cost of bringing your truck back to the 2,000-year level. I will take care of the repairs and painting it so it will be and look much better than new. This will be the year that all our disappointments will subside and we all can move on forward to enjoy the fruits of our work and investments of the past. It just sounds like you just feel a little guilty. I'm not saying you should feel guilty. I'm not saying that you're responsible. People, eyes wide open when people invest in a company. Don't get me wrong, but it does sound like you're trying to be nice because you feel bad about that.
I do.
Be patient, for I will deliver the promises. Love, Lyle. Okay, just so I get this straight. You are telling me that this is just a promise he made.
Right.
He promised to paint your car and he didn't, so you're suing him.
And whatever mechanical problems was wrong with the truck to bring it up a year 2000 because...
Okay, but you did nothing. There was no, what we call in the law, quid pro quo. This is not a contract where you gave up something and then he agrees in return to go ahead and fix your car and paint it and bring it up to 2000 standards or whatever that means.
No, there was no agreement.
No, it's purely a promise on his part to you. Okay. You end up picking up your truck finally? Is the transmission working?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of the things not working because it sat there for 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, whose fault is that? Here's the thing. You're suing him based on what you readily admit is a promise that he made that he'd get your car painted.
Right.
But you can't.
I can't.
You can't, because a promise is not a contract. I could promise that I'm going to love you until the end of our days, and then I could change my mind. I could promise that you know what, if I win the lottery, I'm going to give you half, and then I could change my mind. Unless you give up something, such as you give me 50 cents for that dollar lottery ticket, so you're in on it. Unless you give up something for what I am saying, it's not a contract. Both sides have to be giving up something. If I hire a roofer, I'm giving up money, and the roofer's giving up his talent. We're each giving up something. That's our contract. Here, I've asked you, 7 ways to heaven, how it is that this arrangement worked. And you were like, I felt bad about something, something else that's, an investment unrelated. So he said he'd take care of it, he didn't. So now I'm suing him. On what? There's no contract. It's just him saying he's going to do, at best for you, him saying he's going to do something and then not doing it, which is painting it. It's just the way it works. And whether there were intervening circumstances that caused him not to decide to spring for a paint job, or whether he just changed his mind. It's not something that's actionable on your part. You can't get a judge to make people fulfill their empty promises.
Okay.
They're just promises. They're not contracts. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
So the defendant prevails in this case. Mr. Kayeski, he sounded like a pretty good friend.
He was.
But you don't sound like a very good friend for filing a suit against him.
Well, if somebody promised you something and you do something for that gentleman and he says he's going to fix something and you don't fix it.
Well, you learn the hard way. You can't sue for a promise, you know?
Okay. Yep.
I guess the friendship is kaput, right?
Well, you can't trust, you can't even trust the minister. That's what you can't do. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Wahlberg. I want to point out, you do look like a minister. You are a minister.
I am, yeah.
We should at least bring that out. All right. So, what do you think?
I feel bad for him. And I pray, like all I do is pray for him. I mean, that's all you can do because I don't want to see discord among the brethren. That is one of the things that are destroying our country right now.
All right.
I don't want any part of it. So I mean, I feel bad for him. I try to help when I can, but you know, it's.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. You will sign a few documents. Appreciate it very much. There you go, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, so in order to sue, you have to have a contract. To have a contract, there's something in the law called consideration, which means each person's got to get something or else it's unenforceable. The defendant got nothing, the deal's unenforceable.